to the Kiss Limelight. I'm Paul Kazar, your host, and today we have an absolutely amazing guest, JPA. How are you, my friend?
I'm very, very well. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here.
Of course. I would not miss it. I would not miss it.
Fantastic. Let's start off with a little background of yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're doing, where you're at, and where you're going.
Of course. Well, my name is Jean-Paul, JP and JPA, which is obviously the A is the initial of my surname. I am 41 years young. I have been in the music game since the late 90s and DJing in Melbourne for the past maybe 15 years. Revolver, every single club you can name in Melbourne, every single one actually. Writing music for the past maybe 10, 11 years, and probably the last 5 years is when the music's really started to grab, and getting signed to some big major labels, remixing for some massive artists, and I have a release every month for the next year scheduled in, and yeah.
Don't forget you run your own label as well, but we'll get into that very soon.
Yes, of course, Visions Music, but yeah, we'll get into that soon, I'm sure. I look forward to talking about that.
Absolutely, mate. So just a little bit about the production side.
Yep.
You said you're doing a track a month.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so I've basically done, there's probably about maybe 20 records I have sitting at home on my hard drive. A lot of them are going to be played tonight for the first time. And they're just kind of lined up. I was sick of having the music just sitting there. There's no point. They're like, I'm just getting it out now and just getting it like out every single month was just a good timeline. And producing, it's taken the pressure off, so I can spend like maybe 1-2 weeks on a record as opposed to my deadlines, which is like a week, something less than that. And the music quality is starting to increase, so I'm super.
And for the audience, the genre?
Look, it stems from house music. I grew up on the disco kind of tip, so house music is the baby, but I don't kind of put myself in that little pigeonhole. It's progressive, it's deep, it's techie, it's soulful, it's vocal, I go all around the spectrum. So house music is pretty much the base.
Sounds pretty good to me. Shall we play the first track?
Yes. The first record I have is one that I did with a guy named Michael Mumford. Shout out to Michael Mumford. He is an incredible vocalist, a musician. He is just a super talent. We actually went to a music school together. SOS, shout out to everyone there. We kind of met just randomly. He liked my stuff, I liked his, and I'm like, let's do a record together. And this is the one. This won't be out till next year, so this is literally the first time that everyone's going to hear it.
Excellent. And what's it called?
It's called My All. It's about my beautiful girlfriend. So
fantastic. Let's go. This is the Kiss Limelight with Paul Kazar and JPA. Welcome back to the Kiss Limelight with Paul Kazar and
JPA.
Tell us a little bit about that track, JPA. When's it due to come out?
It's coming out in March on probably my own label, Visions Music. And yeah, I'm super excited to get that one out. That was just a little sneak. And I'm super happy with how it sounds.
I'm excited to get my hands on that as well, mate. So send it over.
You may know a guy.
Very good. So, JP, just touching on your previous story about starting music at a young age.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So, as a kid, my family, my mum, my dad were very into music, listening to records all the time. So, kind of your Motown, Commodores, that kind of vibe. I was kind of forced to play like the violin at a young age, and then the piano, then the saxophone, then the bass guitar and guitar, but I didn't really like any of them. I was going to a school and I wanted to be the cool kid, so I'm very into Motley Crue and Tommy Lee, and so the drums, which my parents weren't stoked about, was kind of my first love, which is quite funny because now I practice the piano every single day and I'm terrible, and I just wish that I focused, but another story, another day. But that was kind of how it started. I was in the drummer of a band called Second to None, and we played kind of that Chili Peppers, Nirvana, just that kind of classic 90s cool stuff, which I still love. Motley Crue and the stuff like that, of course. And yeah.
Do you still play the drums, mate?
I do not, actually. I've been wanting to get a drum kit, like just now, you've got electronic drum kits. But my studio, you can have a look on Instagram, is chock-a-block. And I think my girlfriend's kind of put a click on it until I literally couldn't fit it because I've just got a bit too much hardware in there. So.
Let's hurry up and get that track out and start making some dollars on it.
Mate, I hear. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
So tell me, when was was there a key defining moment, or when was the period where you started to make the transition from instrument-based music to electronic music?
There was so my older, my one of my best mates' older brother used to play this kind of kicking, bass music, I guess. And before we'd go out, I'd kind of knock on the door. I'd go have a look in, and he'd just be introduced me. He'd show me like Gatecrasher CDs and things from like Amnesia and Ibiza and all these things, and it was all very, very new to me. So after that, we kind of just clocked 18 and we went I was Sydney based, so we went to Home Nightclub. And
Been there,
a lot of people have. Early 2000s, and we were kind of listening to the hard trance, which was in the main room, but then Home has these multiple different side rooms. Kind of went around, explored, and found this little house room, and there was a girl named Kate Munro who was just playing house music, and it felt great. There was lots of drums, lots of everything. So Sandy Rivera, Kings Tomorrow finally was one of those records that just grabbed me.
Fantastic. All right, and speaking of grabbing with records, let's play your next track. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so this one's Kate Watts, Fierce, one of my favourite ones. You're going to love it.
Fantastic, let's do it. It's the Kiss Limelight, Paul Kazar, JPA. to the Kiss Limelight. This is Paul Kazar here today with
JPA. KissFM.
Kiss FM. JP, that's a beautiful vocalist.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your vocalist and your relationship with her.
Well, Kate Watts is the vocalist, singer-songwriter, an absolute star, super talent, best friend, just a really beautiful person. Met her on Instagram, sent her some of my music. She rejected politely, and then came back in a couple of months and said, hey, I really listened to that music. You know, she comes from a really soul, bluesy, diva, big voice kind of background, and I'm a house music guy, so yeah, it took a bit of convincing about it. We've known each other for about maybe 2 years now, and it's probably a year of testing the waters musically between us, and now we've got probably 8 records. One that you've just heard, probably another 3 or 4 that you're about to hear in the next hour or so. We've kind of started a bit of a duo, so it's just JPA, myself, and Kate Watts, and we're just working up to getting enough music that we love so that we can go live. She'll just do obviously the vocals and play piano, and I will play with my synths and do a bit of a live kind of show. It may not be as dance floor heavy as what the tracks are, but it's a bit more ambient, that Laurent Garnier kind of orchestral vibe. But yeah, that's kind of it. But yeah, and the next track we've got is from my dear friend Hugo Bladel, who's based in Tassie, and this is an absolute stomper. I'm really proud of this one. I can't wait for everyone to hear it.
Excellent. What's it called?
That's a good question. I completely forgot. In Your Eyes. That's right. Sorry.
Let's go. Kiss Limelight, Paul Kazar, JPA.
All I see is magic.
track, JP.
I'm in love with that one. Absolutely in love with it.
Fantastic. JP, when we were chatting off air, you've got a very interesting process when it comes to the production, the way that you do productions. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Of course. So Saturday mornings is my time, 9 till midday or 8 a.m, depending on how hungover I am from the Friday night. Doesn't matter. It's a non-negotiable. I have to wake up. So I pretty much write music, be super creative. Once I've caught the groove, I basically get pen and paper and I'll write down 5 minutes kick drum, 10 minutes clap, 30 minutes vocal. And what that basically means is during the week, because I'm a bit ADHD, as you may have noticed, I can't really focus that well. I need to literally have a goal every time. So even if I only have 30 minutes on a Monday, I look at the list and I'm like, I'm just going to find a vocal for 30 minutes. I've got a kitchen timer. Thanks, Fred, again, for that little tip. And I set it to 30 minutes and I find myself a vocal. And what I end up with is it. So, and that's how I get my tracks finished in a really quick time. I try and not finish. But Saturday is the creative day. And then from Sunday till the next Saturday is just finishing the record and writing down lists. And I do that with multiple tracks. So I have pen and paper all around my house.
Very, very interesting process for anybody out there, for any budding producers and people that are time poor and people that have busy lifestyles. Here's a working example of a window of opportunity on a Saturday morning, and look at what you're doing. Yeah. You're absolutely pumping. It's working for you.
Yes.
And it's tested, it's tried, and it's proven. So congratulations on that. Tell us about the next track.
The next record is called Stand For. It's another one by Kate Watts and myself. This one was recorded in Apple AirPods and recorded straight in. So if anyone tells you need a $20,000 mic, yeah, look, I get it. But you don't need it all the time. You know, this is a classic example, lyrically amazing. I tear up nearly every time. So it's really stand for. It's what you stand for. So I love the record.
Absolutely. Let's hear it. Welcome back to the Kiss Limelight. Paul Kazar and
JPA.
JPA, thank you so much for your time. It's been a wonderful interview.
Thank you.
Looking forward to your set coming up.
So am I.
We're going to throw to this ad break, and then JPA is live in the mix for the next 60 minutes. Keep a kiss.